right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Small Town Horror with Johnny and Randy. And I'm Johnny.
I'm Randy. And I am Senor Reyes.
There you go.
Made him introduce himself this time.
Yeah. And we just want to say we hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, a Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah.
I got a problem.
Yeah.
No, that's not it. How come I'm the only one without a Santa hat?
Because you came unprepared. Don't look at the mask. I seen you look back at there.
I did too. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Does it come off?
Yeah.
You got to snatch it up.
There's nothing.
But anyway, with that being said, it's officially after Christmas. The holidays are over, except for now we got coming up New Year's. So,
Day of recovery.
yeah. So, as me and Randy always say,
Hungover holiday.
we hope you guys and gals have a safe New Year's.
Absolutely.
Be responsible. Have fun. Just be responsible.
Don't drink and drive.
Right.
Drive sober, get pulled over.
And no matter how wasted you get, do not pick up any clowns, even if they're smiling at you or they offer you a balloon.
I don't know if it's. I mean, if the clown has tacos, I'm in the truck.
My official merchandise, my own Christmas present to me, Terrifier 3 Santa hat and the shirt.
Sweet.
Yes, sir.
They got another one coming out too. It's a black one.
Nah, I like the red one. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get this out of the way. We hope you guys and gals are enjoying the content that we're putting out. We still need those subscribers on YouTube. So please head on over to the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode.
It's down below.
Right.
Thumbs up.
There's a bell too.
Yes, give us a thumbs up. And also our social media. You can follow us on Facebook at Small Town Horror with Johnny and Randy. Our Instagram is Small Town Horror Johnny _Randy. And our TikTok is Small Town Horror Podcast. And you can find us on Spotify. You can download us on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts from. I have had somebody ask me if he's on Pandora. We are not on Pandora. That's pretty much the only major one that we're not on.
You don't want them ads anyway.
Yeah, so.
I didn't even know that was still a thing.
It is. That's what I really did. I'm not to hate on them, but I really didn't know that was a thing either.
Yeah, I haven't listened to them in years.
I didn't know they did podcasts. I mean, I know you can get on there and listen to music, but I didn't know
I don't know.
they had podcasts.
But
Learn something new every day.
so anyway, we're going to go ahead and get right into the meat and potatoes of this episode.
We got taters.
Taters.
Ooh, boil them, mash them, stick them in the stew.
Randy,
Yeah.
you got that summary for us?
Man, I got your summary with it. Check it. Third time. 5 years after surviving Art the Clown's Halloween massacre, Sienna and Jonathan are still struggling to rebuild their shattered lives. As the holiday season approaches, they try to embrace the Christmas spirit and leave the horrors of the past behind. But just when they think they're safe, Art returns, determined to turn their holiday cheer into a new nightmare. The festive season quickly unravels as Art unleashes his twisted brand of terror, proving that no holiday is safe. Da-da-dum.
Dun, 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 dun,
Da-da-dum.
dun. All right, man. So you got the cast for us?
So we've got the one and only David Howard Thornton returning as Art the Clown. We have Lauren Lavero comes back as Sienna Shaw. We have Elliot Fullman coming as Jonathan Shaw also. Margaret Ann Florence and Bryce Johnson play Jess Shaw and Greg Shaw, who are Sienna and and Jonathan's aunt and uncle. Antonella Rose plays Gabby Shaw, who I thought she did a really good job.
Mhm.
I really do. We've got the one and only Fozzie, Chris Jericho, as Burke, who's one of the orderlies at the Crazy House. Let's see who else we got. We got Mason McCartier as Cole and Alexa Blair Robertson as Maya or Mia. I don't remember how they pronounce it. Mia. We've got some horror icon cameos. We've got the one and only Clint Howard, who played Smokey, who, horror-wise, I don't know if you know him as the Ice Cream Man.
Ice Cream Man.
Which is one that we still got to do. The legend, Tom Savini, just plays a bystander. But that's all he needed. He just
That's
needed
it,
his
man.
face.
Yeah.
Just Tom Savini's face. That's all you need. Yeah, Daniel Roebuck played Charlie, who was the Santa Claus.
Yes.
And Jason Patrick played Michael Shaw, who was Sienna and Jonathan's father.
I think it's Patrick.
Is it Patrick? Patrick. Patrick.
Patrick.
I don't know. Maybe it's French.
Like Patrick Starfish.
Hey, SpongeBob.
Right on, man.
But yeah, that's pretty much all of them.
Good cast.
With all of them.
All right, Terrifier 3 was released in October of 2024, and it is 2 hours and 5 minutes long. It is categorized as horror, crime, which I think it should be horror, slasher, comedy a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Should have comedy in it.
This film is not rated, which isn't a surprise to anyone.
Where did you get it on? Vudu?
Yeah.
It said MA on Vudu.
Did it really?
Yeah.
IMDb scored it a 6.4 out of a 10, and Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 77%.
So they're about even. Not
Yeah.
like quite, but
Right.
Close.
Close but no cigar.
hello, my gosh.
So, of course, it was written and directed by Damien Leone. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. He said he's heard Leone as well.
That's how I always say it. Damien Leone.
Okay. The budget for the film was $2 million. At box office, it made $89.9 million, which I want to point out defeated Joker Part 2.
Yep.
I mean, from what I've heard, it wasn't that hard of a task.
But with all the money that went into that film, Art smoked Harley Quinn and the Joker.
That's because Joker's not supposed to sing.
Yeah.
And I believe Terrifier 3 is like the highest grossing unrated film now.
Really?
I believe so.
That's cool. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the movie. Just like we've been discussing, we've done on the last two. I guess it's going to go ahead and we'll get into the pulling scale.
The pulling scale?
The pulling scale.
Pulling?
Pull him.
There you go. All right, so I'm going to go first on this one. And right off the bat, I'm going to say thumbs up. I really enjoy this movie a lot. I think it's the best of the trilogy so far. And I highly recommend you to watch it, especially if you've already seen the first two. And I think that the acting is really good in this movie. I don't think there was a weak actor or actress in this film. I really think they got their money's worth on the screen. The practical effects, once again, was phenomenal. In my opinion, this is the best version of Art that we get. He's more comical in this, but he's more almost like, I would say, a demented Mr. Bean in this film. Like, my favorite scene of the entire movie is when he sees Santa in the bar. And then that's my favorite kill is the Santa scene. It's phenomenal. But with that being said, I love Christmas horror movies, and this is actually probably my number one now. So this one, thumbs up, and I'm giving this an A-. I really dig it.
Nice.
This is only the second time that I've watched this film. I've watched it in theaters, but now watching it tonight, I just feel like they finally got the pacing right in this movie. But we'll go into that a little bit later. But all right, whoever wants to go next. But that's my ranking.
Okay. Y'all know I'm the
nerd,
the Terrifier guy here. So yes, definite thumbs up. Add it to your collection. Like he said, if you've already watched the first two, I mean, you might as well finish up the trilogy until the next one, of course.
I'll say it. There's another one coming.
Yeah, at least one more. And I will give it a. I think I will also give it an A-. Like I said, this and two to me, it depends on the day. I might like two better one day. The next day it might be three. I don't know. But I really dig this. it really gives off that old school Christmas vibe too. You know, just like the look and everything of it. It's almost like I noticed it. I didn't really notice it in theaters too much, but when we watched it tonight, certain shots of like the houses lit up and stuff, it almost has like that fuzzy older look. Like it's not super high def, you know.
Right.
And then I thought it was cool that they actually made a Christmas Carol for art. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, A minus. Recommend. Add it to your collection. Randers.
So I think it's pretty obvious that they appreciate this trilogy more than I do so far, just between the first and the second one. So just get the scale out of the way. I will give it a thumbs up.
First one ever.
I will give it a thumbs up because it was more story driven than 1 and 2.
Yes.
I will give it a thumbs up because of the story. If you've got the first 2, you might as well add this to your collection. And my grade is actually going to be the same as 2, which I think was a B minus. I think I gave it a B minus.
Yeah, you did.
Because I think I gave 1 a C plus.
And
Yeah.
you now here's the thing. You said 2 was a lower B minus. Is this a lower? Or?
Yeah, I'm putting this on the same level as 2 with a lower B minus.
So this one's getting a lower B minus.
No, this is
okay.
This is getting the same grade as 2.
Okay.
Because I think it's on par with 2 as far as the way it was done. There are things that there are different things that I didn't like about 2 that didn't bother me in this one, but then there are things in this one that 2 didn't have. You know what I mean? That 2 kind of led into.
Yeah.
Like towards the end of it,
Mhm.
that led into 3. That as it developed, I realized I didn't like it.
You realize you didn't like it?
It didn't have. Okay, I'm just gonna say.
Yeah,
I was
that's
gonna say this is part of the review.
Okay, so I was going to say,
So-
yeah.
The way 2 ended was with the pale girl going off with his head,
Mhm.
and then Victoria giving birth to the head.
Mhm.
Right. So that was in essence the pale girl, which was the demon possessing Victoria.
Yes.
So and then this one was all about Victoria.
Mhm.
That's what I didn't like.
You know, a lot
I
of people
did-
have said that.
I did not like the fact that it became, and you're gonna know. You might not so much, but I know you will. Art became Bane to Victoria's Tatiana Agul.
Yeah.
Is it Tatiana Agul?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the way it felt to me. I felt Art became a sidekick to the demon, which was Victoria in this one.
There's been other people I've seen online talk about that too.
And I don't like that because Art to me is the star of the movie.
Well, see, I still, and no, I do see where you're coming from. I can't believe you made a Batman reference. Said you didn't think I would get it.
Oh, well, I mean, I didn't know. I knew he was all about. I knew he
love
was,
Batman,
but I didn't know whether or not you were. I didn't know if you would get the reference though.
Oh yeah, but see, yeah, I could see that where they're teamed up on this one, but Art got all the screen time and all the
Yeah.
kills.
But he was almost like he was a puppet.
But I was fixated. But then at the end, you can really tell where he was in the background, and it was Victoria's time to
And
shine.
she was leading the
Mhm.
show, and I didn't like it because I knew she wasn't going to be going forward. I knew when it all come down to whenever Sienna showed the letter and they were starting, and she was talking to Jonathan about we have to take her out. I knew from then that Victoria wasn't making it to part 4.
She gone.
She gone. I knew that way. I mean, Art was always going to be there.
So let's go ahead and we can talk in order. We can just pretend the camera's not here and the microphone ain't going.
Okay.
I gotta go pee.
Pinky got pee-pee.
Let's discuss the negatives real quick.
Okay.
Like, I could say one, you guys think of one, but as far as the negatives for me is I really don't have any negatives to say about it. Like,
I mean, you gave it an A-, so
yeah, like
I've got one.
I really don't have a whole lot of negatives on this film. Well, that's why I brought it up, because I wanted to point that out. Like, I know everybody said that the shower scene was more gruesome than the bedroom, and I don't feel like it was.
No, I think that was just meant to be like the kill on this one.
yeah, I think this one was the bedroom scene of part 3.
Yeah.
But I think 3 was 10 times worse than that.
You think 3 was 10 times worse?
Well, Mia didn't live for 45 minutes as she was done.
Oh, so you're saying part 2 was worse? The kill scene.
I think the kill scene.
Okay, well, you said third one. That's why we were like, wait.
No, yeah. The shower scene in this one was the bedroom scene for part 3.
And I actually like this scene, this kill scene, better than the second one. Better than the bedroom scene because it didn't drag on.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, Chris, go ahead with your negative.
My negative was, I know you're not the biggest fan of Elliot Fulham, but I thought Jonathan, what little bit he was in this, I thought he did excellent in this, but he wasn't in it that much.
Hang on. That's all the screen time he got. That was it.
Yeah, he wasn't in it that much. I don't know if it
And
was
I'm
like a scheduling thing or what, but I wanted to see more of him too.
And I'm still not sold on that being his head at the end.
And that's another thing going around too, because it was off screen, so is it really him? You can't trust an off screen kill.
And I'm gonna tell you this right now: have they shied away from showing kill scenes on this?
No.
Even at the beginning of this one, when he went in and hacked up the little kid, they showed the aftermath.
Yeah.
There's never been a kill scene in any of these movies that they have not shown. Why didn't they show his?
Well, Damien Leone in an interview, and whether he changes his mind or trying to fool people or whatever, he confirmed that was Jonathan's head.
No, I believe it.
And he said that the reason they did it that way was because he was just coming out of Aunt Jess's kill, which apparently there was a lot more to that and a lot more brutality to it. But he didn't want to go from Jonathan straight into that one. He thought people needed a little bit of a break.
You know, that's actually her kill scene was actually based off of a real medieval torture.
No, but that don't surprise me.
They would they would tie people up and they would put a bucket on their stomach and they would put rats in the bucket.
Oh yeah.
Put it on their stomach and then put the fire behind the bucket and then the rat would have to eat through the body to get away from the fire.
They did that on Too Fast, Too Furious.
Now that you say that, I do have a negative. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. The only part that there was two things I wish. One I wish was taken out, and the other one I wish would have been added. I didn't like when Victoria takes the knife and she goes up between her legs.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Yeah.
I didn't like that at all. I wish that would not be in there.
And then
when we watched that in theaters, I was just like, ugh.
Yeah.
But I did like how Art played
He
it.
was like,
Yeah.
But the thing that I wish is at the very end, you got him in this clown or the Santa Claus outfit the entire movie. Then in the last finale, he just got the hat on. I really wish he would have kept the entire suit on. Through the fight scene, I know that ain't nothing big, but yeah, I do wish they would have kind of took that part out of Victoria where she grabbed the knife or the shard of glass.
That was almost in there, I think. It's just like, let's just shock them.
yeah, that's straight shock factor is all that was.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my biggest negative, which I kind of already talked about, was how they developed the story between Art and Victoria. I mean, I kind of already hit on it. I just didn't like the fact that Art took a back seat as far as the main character.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I said, there's been people griping about that online too, so you're definitely not the only one that noticed that. One thing I was going to say too about, excuse me, Aunt Jess's kill, that was probably the most brutal kill. And when we met him a month or so back now at Cape Con, I asked him, what's your favorite kill across all the movies now that it's out in theaters? He said his favorite kill was the
Santa Claus.
Daniel
Roebuck,
because they just got to go in there and just BS and play off each other for a little while. And that's definitely the most creative one, I would say. But I asked him, because he had made a remark on some interviews about something that made him sick, and he doesn't get sick very easy. And it was Aunt Jess's kill. And I asked him, well, what was it, the rats?
This is David Howard Thornton?
Yeah, David Howard Thornton. He said, no. He said, the rats were adorable. He said, it's the puke. He said, I can't do vomit.
Oh, when it was coming up the tube.
Yeah, he said, I can't do vomit. And they know that. And he said he tried to get his stunt double in there to do it. And Damien Leone's like, no, it's going to be your face in the shot. Yeah. You need to do it. And then he said, Samantha Scavidi, that was Victoria, come down. And she's already got her makeup on and all that. And she's eating corn nuts. And it's grossing him out. And she's all up in his face like, hey, David. And he said there's footage of it, like him literally getting sick and dry heaving. But
I think they could have played on that, because I think they could have done the comedy shot and had him do one of his sour faces or something at it. To me, the most brutal kill in the movie was when dude took the chainsaw Enema
Oh, yeah.
in the shower. That was, whew.
Y'all got any more negatives?
Not really a negative, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more with her dad because there was only like 2 short scenes, really.
They're teasing it big time.
Yeah.
See, but I was gonna say they give you a hint into what his life was like right before, because I think that flashback, she was remembering that he had that happen, and then that whole time was him envisioning everything that was fixing to happen to her.
Yeah.
So I do like the fact that they gave you that, but I'm like you. I wish that was one of those she had flashbacks throughout the movie and give you a little more each time, you know.
So I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way. I'm kind of going to the positives. Jonathan, I think he 10 times improved in this movie
because he was only in it for 3 minutes.
No, seriously, I don't know. We said it before. I feel like he doesn't do good when he's scared.
Yeah,
he wasn't scared in this movie. He was, the way he was playing a college kid trying to get over trauma and stuff. I think that's what he needs to stick to when he's acting. Because I really did. There was not one scene in this movie that I was like, "Oh, here he is again."
But because he's a dramatic actor,
right?
And he does a really good job with the drama side of it, and I thought he did a good job with the piss side when he was in the room and slinging stuff around.
Yeah, he threw his phone down and grabbed a hold of his. That's what I'm saying. He works dramatic very well. Yeah. It's just when like they're like, "Hey, go in there and you're going to see a dead body."
He's sympathetic.
Yeah.
And Daniel Roebuck, and I'm not saying this just because I've met him. He is such an amazing person and an underrated actor. I think he brings a lot to every scene that he's in. Any movies that he's in, I always feel like he steals the show. And when I talked to David Howard Thornton about that particular scene, it's kind of what Chris mentioned. He said they got to work off each other. He said when Daniel Roebuck was tied up and he was going, "You look good, Clowney, you look good." And then he was like, "I got a family, I got this." That was not in the script.
Mm-hmm.
He said they just started filming and Daniel Roebuck started saying, "I got kids and I got 4 grandchildren and all." He said it was just.
Was that his real grandkid's name?
I don't know, but he said that.
Surprised me.
He said that it was just one of those. All right, here we go,
and they roll with it.
Yeah. And to me, when you can do that, to me that makes you a really good actor.
Yeah.
And the entire scene, I loved it because, the simple fact when Art comes in the bar, and he's sitting there and he's like, and he's pointing at him and all this stuff. Well, he's got his hat off. Well, then he puts his hat back on, and I like because he's getting all prepared. And he's like, "Hey, just like you got to remember when I got this thing on, I'm like Elvis. Everybody's going to get the same experience." Yeah. And I like that because he's just a cool dude. The character, was just like, all right, I'm gonna, and he put up with a lot.
He's like, all right, we'll be Santa Claus again,
but
even for this weirdo.
But and really, the reason this is my favorite is because I feel like they spaced it out perfect. And when Art is on the camera, when he's on the screen, he is so more expressive in this film.
Mm-hmm.
And the Santa Claus scene, he goes to the mall and he sits down and he's pointing at the Santa Claus sign.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect mime. Perfect deadly Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
The way they walk up to him and they're like, "Get out of here," and he's like, he's pointing and he's doing this stuff.
Yeah.
He's pointing at his chest, he's pointing at Santa sign. Perfect.
Yeah.
It's something that you would think of going back watching a mime. And
I would love to see him in a silent picture. I really would.
Oh, it'd be entertaining.
I mean, I know that silent pictures aren't a thing anymore, but I think he could be one of the guys to really bring it back because he does such a good job and he's such an expressive actor.
Well, and one thing that I feel like they need to be a little careful on, and I know you guys will know where I'm coming from on this. In part 1, he's vicious. Part 2, he is sadistic. He does do a few things to make you chuckle. We don't want to see Art go into the Chucky Freddy thing where he's so evil, but then all of a sudden he starts being so goofy that you're like, The thing that saves him is he doesn't talk.
Yeah.
And I think you need that pick me up when you're watching a movie like this. And I think that how the film was written and how the film was directed, I think they gave you plenty of gore, like the people that want to see all the gore, and then okay, let's calm it down a little bit, give them a little humor. All right now, and we got to talk about Sienna. Once again, her acting is phenomenal. Even and it gave me chills. Look, my hair standing up right now. It gave me chills when she's tied up and they throw Gabby on the floor. She's like, she's just a baby.
Yeah.
I was like,
I
pulling on
can't-
the heartstrings.
I can't believe that she was a stunt actor before
Yeah.
acting. Like I don't. This is the first thing that I can know of that I've seen her in.
Yeah.
And you can tell me she's been acting her whole life.
One part there, I didn't hear the aunt say it in the theaters, but when I watched it with Heather and then again tonight, when the head is revealed and they're like, "Don't you recognize your own flesh and blood?" Aunt Jess tells Sienna, "I love you, Sienna." She knew she was gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She said, "I love you, Sienna," and then she's like, "Make them suffer." I heard the "make them suffer" part, but I didn't hear her say, "I love you, Sienna."
Yeah.
That, like, the second time, I was like, "Oh, that sucks."
That's-
You were talking about art a while ago too.
Yeah.
Before I forget, one of my favorite parts in the whole movie is the bar scene with Santa and the two guys, and his expression, like you were talking about, changes like that because like the guy says something to him and he looks at him like you're dead, and then immediately goes right back into smiling and cutting up,
Yes.
and it was just like boom, I'm pissed, boom, I'm good again. I mean, just that quick, and that caught my attention even in theaters. I was like, dang, he looks evil. Okay, there's art.
Does anybody feel bad for Santa? Like, man, I wish he'd let him live.
I mean,
Nah.
yeah, but it's like he's not gonna.
I don't see anybody in a room with art living
Right?
in any movie they put out.
Do you think he killed a little girl at the beginning when he?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, okay.
David Howard Thornton. Somebody asked him at a con, and he's like, "Oh yeah, she's dead."
Well, I thought what they were going to do, because after they panned to her in the cabinet, he was waving there. They panned over to the axe on the table. I thought they was going to just show him grabbing the axe.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, she gone.
You was talking about Sienna too. I think down the road, I think she's going to be this generation's like,
Sidney Prescott.
yeah, Nev Campbell.
Mhm.
I can see that.
Because I mean, like her and then Jamie Lee Curtis both. I mean, where'd they get their start at? Horror movies.
Yeah.
I can see it in 10, 15, 20 years. Like, she's a major star in Hollywood and
Wild Things.
got started here.
Wild Things 5.
Right? No, it'll be a reboot at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
So, what about your positives?
So I like the way they developed the story. The other ones, one of them was an hour and 25 minutes ish.
Are you talking about
The first one.
Yeah, about an hour and a half.
The
give or
second
take.
one was 2:20.
Yeah.
2 hours 20 minutes.
Mm.
This one was 2:05.
Mm.
This one didn't feel 2:05.
They made him trim it down too.
Well, and that's just it. It kept your attention through the whole 2 hours.
Yeah.
Usually there are dead spaces in it, even a 2-hour movie. No
Mhm.
matter what, if you like the subject or not, it doesn't matter. There's dead spaces in every movie that's over 2 hours. These weren't as prevalent as they clearly were in the second one.
Right.
So that's one of my positives, and I did like how they developed the story in this one a whole lot more. I personally didn't care for the direction of the story, the way they did it with Victoria.
I have a question for you.
Uh-oh.
All right, you said the second one, I think you said, kind of caught you off guard with it being the magical stuff.
And in this one, it bugged me just the same.
Okay, I was going to ask if it softened the blow since
No.
you kind of see where it's going.
No, I see where it's going. It's just, it just didn't. I don't know. I just don't feel like it fits, because it's like with the whole her palms healing from the sword cuts,
Mhm.
and I don't know. It just.
That's what I was going to tell you on the last one too. Like her hands healing up, her own sword can't hurt her.
Yeah.
That's why she healed up in the tank on the second one.
Yeah.
So, would you watch this one before you would the other two again?
I would watch the second and the third one together
Oh, okay.
equally.
Like
Be-
one continuous movie type thing.
Yeah, I would watch those as like one continuous movie.
Oh, okay, I got
To
you.
me, it would be an extended version of just Terrifier.
Got you.
But I mean, I really do put these two on about the same level. Like, there's not kind of like you, how you're not sure which one you like more at any given time. These two for me are that exact same way, just not as high up.
See, and it's funny because while we was watching this, one of the first things in my mind is I was like, how can Chris say 2 is better? Like, I was having fun with this one, but
I had fun with the second one too. But like I said, 2 is one of those, like, once I've listened to so many things, like backstory on it, I can go back and watch it and like, oh, here's what they're doing.
Yeah.
But if you don't do all that, then yeah, you're probably like,
I will say Terrifier 3 art is my favorite. Just because, and y'all both know, I'm a fan for the comedy aspect of it. Yes, Dream Warriors Freddy is my favorite. And this is kind of like my Dream Warriors Freddy. Is because even though he doesn't say a word, he's more expressive. When Mia and Cole are in the bedroom and she's talking about, I would have loved to know how it is to get, and they just keep panning the art, and he's just doing all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's that kind of stuff that just.
And see, one of the creepiest things to me in the movie is where she's like, I'd love to see what it's like to look at death right in the eyes. And I love the fact that he raises her head up and she looks at him and he takes them glasses off and does his little stuff.
Yeah. His eyes get bigger and bigger.
I love how the fact that they can keep his eyes so white through the whole movie.
Did you notice, both of you? I talked
did.
about it. He's getting more demonic looking from the movies. I'm not just talking about his eyes, like even
his face
head.
structure and stuff.
His head is different.
Like it's more sunken in, and
his eye or his ears
and his nose
almost like melted together with his head.
Yeah, and his nose is always getting a little more curved and.
So go ahead and address it. Which, if you're a follower of the podcast, you know that me and Randy are Christian men, so as well as my brother. We're going to address the elephant in the room as far as when me and Chris went to go see this in Cape Girardeau. That's a town about an hour and 30 minutes away from where we live at. Chris was telling me that he heard that there was a lot of blasphemy in this film, and I was like, oh man, he was thinking the same thing. It was like, I don't want to watch it if it's going to be. So the whole time we're watching it, we're like, where's it going to be at? Where's it going to be at?
Yeah.
Nothing in this movie offended me, and I don't think it offended you as well.
No.
Because, and now Randy stated we'll go off camera that he didn't like the way the crown of thorns was placed on Sienna and all this stuff. So explain now, because I mean, now we're dealing with, you can go more detail. We're officially dealing with demons and angels.
Yes. So like I told you, I think in the last one, I may have been off camera. Sienna's like the Joker to, or well, I guess she'd be more like Batman to his Joker.
I was gonna say she's more Batman.
Yeah, Damien Leone said in an interview, like, he didn't just throw religious stuff in there just to throw it in there for shock value.
Yeah.
He wants people to realize how evil Art and Victoria was. You know, and you see that kind of stuff, you're like, you know, you might be laughing, but at the same time, you're kind of like, that's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
So he said that Sienna, he's not saying that she is Jesus, but she's Christ-like. And they said, you know, on this, when he handed her the thing, she said, is she an angel? He said, not just that, she's an angel warrior. So it's literally good versus evil, angels versus demons.
And I get that. The part that struck me the most in that whole get up was when Victoria went over to her as Victoria, the demon, was wearing the crown of thorns, and said, "You're no savior," and then pulled the crown of thorns off her head and put it on her, almost like she was mocking being a savior. You know what I mean? That's the way I took it, me personally. And that's the only thing that really got me. And I was like, didn't like that.
See, and like I said, and I'm not trying to change your mind because everything's going to hit your. But see, there's no difference to me watching that and then watching an Exorcist movie or watching.
I agree with you.
Or watching The Conjuring.
I didn't even
because
like The Exorcist.
There's demons in that.
I'm even saying like The Conjuring. Like me and you both said, part 2 is the best. But like, I don't like when they have to use the crosses going upside down.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
And what's funny is me and my daughter actually talked about this today. So for all you people that don't know, and you may not even care, but an upside down cross is not demonic. What that originally came from was Peter in the Bible was going to get crucified, and he did not want to. He said, "I don't deserve to be crucified like my Lord and Savior."
Mhm.
So they hung him upside down. Man has made that demonic.
Mhm.
And just like me and my daughter was talking today, because she said, she don't like that. And she said, but people don't know the truth about it. And that's what I told Jody. I said, but when you see it in horror movies, why do they do it? She said, to make it evil.
Mhm.
I said, exactly. So
what's it like? Even in The Conjuring, Valak was the profane demon, and he took on the most blasphemous form, which was a nun.
And even the scene where, like, how that bothered you about the crown of thorns, it didn't bother me because I just felt like she was mocking. This demon is mocking Sienna, like, oh
See,
yeah, they chose you to be this.
And I took it as she was mocking Christ. That's where I got it from, because she was like, "You're no savior," and took an image or took a artifact of Christ that was like,
right.
the crown of thorns and stuff.
But see, that didn't bother me. But then what bothers me in The Conjuring 2 is when she sees the nun and all that's going, and she's like, "What is your name?" And she telling her name. She opens the Bible and she's scribbling.
Yeah, on the Bible.
That bothers me more.
Yeah.
but that's what I was getting to. We all are entitled to our own opinions. Everybody in this world that has stepped foot on God's green earth is entitled to their opinions. Don't mean you got to get on the internet and tell everybody everything and disagree and say you're this and this. Just disagree and go your separate ways. But
I thought that was going to be a bigger thing for you. I thought you was going to be like, nope, to see, nope.
But see, and like I was telling you, it was at the end of the movie, so I was able to focus on the rest of the movie first.
Mm-hmm.
When they did it, similar things on House of a Thousand Corpses, that was closer to the beginning of the movie.
That was Devil's Rejects.
Devil's Rejects, yeah. Threw me off of that movie altogether.
But he literally blasphemed the Holy Spirit and all that stuff.
Yeah. And for me, and the way I felt it and the way I took it at the moment I was watching it, that's the way I felt when she was doing it. She was like, "You're no savior," and then taking the crown of thorns. That's the way I took it.
Right.
When I was telling him about it, because I was avoiding spoilers, but I had seen a handful of reviews where it was like, it's a blasphemous good time, and I was just like, oh man, I don't want to sit through 2 hours of just that kind of crap. So like the first time in theaters, like I was enjoying it, but there were certain parts where I was like, I was almost kicked back, like, is this it?
Yeah.
Because like at the beginning, when the demolition guys were in there, I told him on the way home when he put that big, looked like a sewing needle or railroad tie through his hand.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was going to do the other side,
and
then stick him to the floor or something, but he didn't do that. And he said the same thing. He's like, "Yeah, I thought that's what was going to happen."
Yeah.
Do you know who that guy was that got his head split? Which is, we didn't even talk about that being an amazing kill.
He looks. The second they showed his face up close, I was like, "Man, I know this guy from somewhere."
He is the main boyfriend from Scary Movie. That's him.
Holy
Remember
crap.
he was? Yeah, what's his name's Bobby in the movie.
That's crazy.
Yeah, him and the Wayans brothers are the killer.
Yeah,
that's him.
Dang.
But to go ahead and so we will end that conversation. I just want to bring it to our attention that we all interpret things differently, and there's one thing that I've ever seen in a movie that made me go, and it just kind of threw me off, is Man of Steel. There's a scene, it's either in Man of Steel or it's in another one with Superman, the new Superman guy, where he's walking through the streets and people are reaching for him and they're reaching for his cape.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot tell me that ain't a ripoff when Christ was walking through. And remember the woman was like, if I could just touch his robe. Because, what do they say? That's the savior of mankind, talking about Superman. So that's what I'm saying. It's really on looking at
it's how you interpret it, and everybody interprets everything differently.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. There's no really right or wrong feelings on it. It's just how you interpret it. But man, to get off that subject though, like I said, I really feel like this is just a really good movie, and this is going to be one of those movies that even if I don't watch 1 or 2, this is going to be around Christmas time, popping it in. Because because it is a legit Christmas movie.
While I'm over here watching the Santa Claus trilogy. And How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Man, you need more blood. Jeez. Oh, and I want to ask something too on the Victoria kill. Me and him kind of touched on the way back from the theaters when she decapitates her and she falls down and like the floor is melting or something.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, I said, I thought she was about to T-1000, like
And meld back together.
Well, I thought she was going to go into almost like Aunt Jess's body and come back or something like that.
Oh yeah,
because it was right there beside her. Like you can see her feet. I was like, she's about to like, come back together like T-1000.
Well, I knew something was happening with the floor because the more the blood spread, the more the smoke started popping up, and it just looked like fog at first.
Yeah.
And then you could slowly hear it creaking. And I was like, that floor's fixing to give in. That's fixing to happen.
So, I may be wrong, but did Art have the possessed eyes at the end?
Mm-hmm.
It looked like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They went solid white because.
No, not that.
What are you talking about?
That's what I saw was solid white.
When his eyes went solid white, I knew something was going on. But when he sat on the bus and he opened his eyes, they didn't look normal to me.
I think he was just bloody. They look like basically the rest of the movie, like where just the white. I mean, you said he had the pupil or whatever.
Well, yeah, because he was just like
he's out of it. And that's one thing I was going to touch on too, because like Sienna just basically lost everything, her sword included. Well, now Art is vulnerable too, from some stuff I've been listening to on YouTube. I think I may be wrong. They haven't confirmed it yet, obviously, but I think he's almost went back to human form now because he don't have that vessel now. That's why he was just kind of out of it on the bus, just like, and you can see the floor where he was still bleeding.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. If they turn him from man to immortal to supernatural and back to man, that's gonna bug the fire out of me.
It's gonna bug me if they make part 4 and they put him to the sideline and like her go to hell or whatever to find Gabby.
And Art's really not in it.
Yeah, like it's more like Victoria's down there. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Well, they've said too. David Howard Thornton said on Jim Cummins' podcast, and he said it somewhere else recently too, where I think they're finally going to give us some backstory on Art in 4. And he said that him and Damien Leone, they don't want to make him a sympathetic character because everybody does that anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to have some, he's not really bad. It just, they made him bad. He was bullied, blah, blah, blah. He wants you to know that he's evil incarnate. He's a piece of crap. But they're going to show that. He said they may even shoot it different. So I don't know exactly what they're going to do, but I'm looking forward to that myself.
Are you even interested in seeing part 4?
Yeah.
I didn't know if that was like...
I am now,
mm-hmm.
But it depends. If they take him back to being just a man again, I'm like, man, I don't want to see that crap. You're going to make it supernatural and then take the supernatural completely out of it? Come on.
They haven't confirmed it, but that's just some theories going around. But not another one I listened to a couple hours before I got off was like, now that he's lost Victoria, now he's just a monster with nothing to lose, so he's going to be even more vicious.
That'd be good.
So I can see that.
I can see it.
So there ain't no telling what he's going to do.
Well, what about the head split? We haven't really talked about that because that was actually a really good kill scene.
That was awesome. That was
the beginning where he grabbed.
Oh yeah,
I showed that to Riley. I was like, I'm not going to show you the shower scene, but I'll show you this. Come here. And the one I watched, they cut out the Victoria parts, so she didn't have to see that. But I was like, check this out. And of course, she just, why'd you show me that?
I hope she stays that way. So, do you guys got anything else y'all want to share before we sign off?
I don't think so.
I do.
Okay.
Me and him touched on it. I want to know yours. Do you consider Art a horror icon? Now you've got the story so far.
I will put Art the Clown as a modern horror icon. Yeah, I will put him in that level. I would.
I think I said it on the last one. I think he's this generation's Freddy Krueger.
I can see that. I can see that.
I've got that Guns N' Roses knockoff shirt that's got like the horror icons on it. Yeah. And I told him, I said they need to take Pinhead off and put Art on it.
I never understood Pinhead being on there to begin with. Like, don't get me wrong, Hellraiser's not a bad movie. At least the first 1 or 2 that I've seen.
I've only seen pieces.
Let's not get into this.
And I hadn't watched them since I was a kid, so my opinion may change now. But my thing about it is like I never grew up knowing Pinhead as he wasn't on the level as Jason. He wasn't on the level as Freddy.
He's hardly in
Michael.
any of the movies.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, it's
Really?
not.
Yeah, have you not seen? Oh yeah,
I've seen pieces, and it's probably of him. So
all he ever does is walk around with a box,
Yeah.
and he's got minions that does his dirty work. I think the tall man's better than Pinhead.
Now we're in
yeah,
Phantasm.
we done jumped off movies.
Anyway, yeah. So we will be doing next year. We're probably going to be doing another a horror movie talk, so
Oh,
we can
yeah.
just shoot the bull.
Yeah, write that down on the list.
Right. So if you guys ain't got nothing else to share about the movie, the only announcement that I have is that we will be. I don't know. I figure it's just going to be me and Randy. We will be doing a review on the Nosferatu movie, the new one.
Yep.
We're going to go, I think, the weekend after Christmas. So in 2 weeks, we may go watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So be looking forward to that. And me and Randy's going to start putting out some more content on the YouTube channel. We're actually discussing right now, not just doing horror movies, but doing comedies, drama, whatever.
Strictly on YouTube.
Yeah, just on YouTube. So we will not be releasing that on the audio version.
Get ready, because eventually when we go on YouTube and we do our favorite trilogies of all time, we're going to get into it.
Well, he likes Lord of the Rings, and I like Back to the Future.
I like good movies, and he doesn't.
You're calling Back to the Future not a good movie?
Never said it wasn't good.
What'd you just say?
I said, I like good movies. You don't.
I just said Back to the Future.
That was implying you don't.
Well, I
Like
mean,
that's not a good movie.
take it how you want to take it. Just saying, Lord of the Rings stays up. Back to the Future.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah. Kind of 3 was kind of,
3 was great. This is the guy that haven't even seen Bill and Ted 2 or 3 because he said the first one's so good he don't want to watch the other two.
Yeah, I'm scared.
He's so stupid.
I'm scared to death to watch Smile 2.
He's got a weird way of looking at stuff. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
That was great. Want to see part 2? Nah.
Hey, some of the movies don't deserve
Exactly.
sequel, I'm sorry.
How often do the sequels live up to the hype of the first one?
Very, 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 very rarely.
Okay, then.
Okay,
Like
but
I said,
I'm going to raise my hand on this though.
Speed 2 was terrible.
I feel like the Evil Dead got better and better as they go.
Well, they peaked at 3. They should have started with 3 and left it alone. Just saying.
You said you loved 2.
It was all right, but it was no 3.
Ash vs. Evil Dead is better than 3.
No. The show?
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Oh,
not.
yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to fight.
Yeah, we finna.
All right, well, we're off course here. So, as always, we thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave your comments on what you feel like is your favorite as far as 1, 2, and 3 of the Terrifier films. Is this your favorite version of art? What is your favorite version of art? And with that being said, as always, remember to stay scared.
Stay spooky.